I hear some people saying the season's over, and that's an understatement. The season is over. This franchise is done. This once proud organization under George Steinbrenner has become a joke. And then I had an epiphany over the weekend. You want to know what this is?
Yeah, do tell.
Jason Dominguez. Why is it pronounced Jason? It's spelled Jasson. It's because he's ass.
Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew, Sistad, Brad unite. Philly and Y in the spotlight.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 53. On this week's episode, we are talking about a bunch of relevant topics in New York and Philly sports. We got the abomination that is the New York Yankees. I have a lot to say about that. We have Subway Series, the Mets with a bounce-back week. The Phillies keep on winning. We'll get into the NBA as Sistad and Sixers fans are giddy over a summer league performance by VJ Edgecombe. We'll talk Knicks offseason. They have a head coach finally. That's fun. We are bringing back the subscriber favorite. Let's mock New York fans on Twitter, and we'll wrap up with some subscriber questions. Let's start off with the Yankees. Let's start off,
You know what? Just let them have it, dude. Come on. Just come out of the gate fire and let's hear it.
We're going to start off with the abomination that is the New York Yankees. I hear some people saying the season's over, and that's an understatement. The season is not over. The season is over. This franchise is done. It's this organization, this once proud organization under George Steinbrenner, has become a joke. They're the laughingstock of baseball. They spend $300 million, so they find their way into the playoffs, one World Series trip, and they're a joke. They were a joke in the World Series. They're a joke this year. Maybe they make the playoffs, but they suck. They can't win the World Series. We know that. Where to even start on this team? I mean, Cashman, awful GM. Hal Steinbrenner has no idea how to run an organization. Aaron Boone with his "it's all in front of us" comments. I mean, if he says that one more time, so they should throw him out of town. Send him to Philly where he belongs.
That's right.
Fire Boone, fire Cashman, Carlos Rodón. Last episode, I talked about how he's been good. Every time he has a big game, he sucks. Big game against the Mets. Choke. Awful.
Sucks.
Just really pathetic. Anthony Volpe can't defend him anymore. What a joke. He sucks so much that he tries to hurt their only good player. You saw that, right? He threw the ball.
He finally got a hit. Yeah, he finally hit something.
He finally got a hit. He hit Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And then I had an epiphany over the weekend. You want to know what this is?
Yeah, do tell.
I couldn't understand for a while about this prospect. The Yankees had Jason Dominguez. They call him the Martian. You made fun of it. And I never realized why is it pronounced Jason? It's spelled Jasson. And over the weekend, I had an epiphany. I came to a realization of why. It's because he's ass. Jas. He's pathetic in left field. His defense belongs in a middle school game. I mean, little league. I remember in 8th grade they had Babe Ruth league. He wouldn't even be in the outfield. They put in the little league, they put the worst players in the outfield. If you could stop laughing.
Oh my God! Yes,
you remember how they?
In right field.
He wouldn't even be there. He wouldn't even be there.
Wow.
And then Goldie looks great first half. He looks like he's 60. DFA him. Get Stanton out of here. He's a stiff. Mark Leiter Jr., he thinks he's his Uncle Al. It's pathetic. Loizaga, go eat some lasagna and baked ziti. This is pathetic. Pathetic. The Yankees are a joke. Let's be honest. Sell at the deadline. Sell at the deadline. Sell everyone. It sucks. We know Judge is prime. You're wasting it. It's wasted. Just move on. If you can even move him, consider it. This is pathetic. Max Fried, gone. Everyone, just stop with this. The only issue with selling is that we're trusting Cashman to do it. I mean, it's just pathetic. Throw whatever you can at Billy Beane. Bring him in. It's over. Dombrowski, steal him away. So that's my take on the Yankees.
Wow. All right, next topic. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Can you give me a grade on this? Give me a grade.
That was so I was an A. I mean, the only thing I told you this last time is you have to.
Oh, they're an embarrassment. They're an embarrassment to New York.
And the only thing, yes, they should be ashamed of themselves is the only thing that you miss, I think. But everything else, I mean, that Jason Dominguez thing was the best thing I've ever heard you say in the 11 years that I've known you.
You probably couldn't picture me even saying that.
No, you caught me so off guard. The epiphany, because he's ass. Dude, did you make that up or did you hear it?
Yeah.
Did you hear it somewhere? Dude,
so
that is
one of my friends who on one of my baseball chats recently called him, like he did the lowercase j, capital A, capital S, and then lowercase SON. But the rest of it I made up, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to your friend, because I think he had an assist with that one. But
yeah, big time assist.
Yeah, so that was great. Amazing. I'm so happy. I can't wait to, it's exhausting, right? Just spewing nonsense is exhausting.
Being so angry is tiring.
Yeah. Very good. I can't wait to hear that back. And if you want to actually talk about what's going on, I'm open to doing that too.
Yeah. Whew. I really am. I need to collect myself. So that was a combination of a bunch of things. One, some of my very exaggerated versions of my own thoughts. WFAN's midday show, Brandon Tierney kind of said about half of that. About selling everyone, anyway.
Okay.
And then it's some of John Boy's Talking Yanks. And
really?
I have great respect for them and that podcast, but they're just they're so focused on just the Yankees. They don't notice as much what's going on around baseball. And when you do that, you think the good is better than it is and the bad's worse than it is. When you have a better view of what's going on throughout baseball, all the rest of the teams, you kind of see things in a different way. That said, the Yankees are playing really horrible baseball. And I think it's a legitimate question to ask. Is this a bad stretch, they're what they were for the first 2 months of the season is who they really are? Or is that more of the fluky, with not just a good stretch? And while they're not as bad as they are playing right now, they're not the worst team in baseball. Are they just not a very good team? I think it's a question it's a valid question. I think there's a lot of things about this roster that are flawed. I think me and Greg talked about that in the season preview episode.
Oh, poor Greg. Thoughts and prayers to Greg, man. He's probably on suicide watch right now.
So the flaws are there. They have some great aspects. I think I talked last week. When they put out their best lineup, they pretty much have 8 guys that are above league average in terms of WRC plus. That's better than I think just about every team in baseball. Maybe the Cubs and Dodgers might be the exceptions. They have obviously Aaron Judge. They have Max Fried. They have even guys who are struggling like Luke Weaver. I believe he's going to be fine. He's been bad since injury. I still believe Devin Williams will be fine long term throughout the rest of the season. They have injuries that are a problem. Obviously, Cole's not coming back. They just lost Clark Schmidt for the season. But they have a lot of good hitters. I mean, I can go up and down the lineup and talk about guys who have 115, 120 WRC pluses, 125. They have a really high quality lineup. They have pitching concerns. Their bullpen's been really bad, and they don't play good defense. I have concerns about. I don't understand what they're doing with Jazz. But we're going to talk. We'll dive more into this more on the first half review. or first half recap episode that we'll do during the All-Star break. But they're playing horrible. There is reason for concern. I understand being frustrated because I'm frustrating. It's hard to watch these games. It's hard to watch them play like this. That said, the stuff I said was obviously a joke. I think they're a great organization, and I think Hal runs this organization really well. I think Cashman's a good face of the organization, and I think this season, while it's a flawed roster, the American League is really bad, and the Yankees I still think are the best team in the American League. And I do believe that they're going to win the division. I don't believe that the Jays are going to keep winning. They've won like 8 in a row now. That's kind of a fluky thing. The Jays are not great. They have Andres Jimenez batting cleanup usually. Like they don't have a great lineup, and everyone's concerned about the last straw, Clark Schmidt's injury. Well, other teams are going to have really bad pitching injuries as the year goes on because that's what happens in baseball. Every team, all these pitchers get hurt, but they have season-ending injuries. It's very common. So I think it's going to be okay. I think the American League sucks. I think the Yankees are a flawed team, but it will look and feel a lot better whether it's a month, half a month, 2 months. Things will feel a lot different. So that's my actual take.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I'm old enough to remember like literally a year ago where a very similar thing happened, and
not as bad
though. Sure, but it's all relative, right? So yeah, I think it's a perfect storm of some injuries. Toronto happened to be playing really well right now, so it feels probably a lot worse than it really is. But yeah, this happened last year. They made some moves at the deadline. They got Chisholm, who's been really good, all-star this year. Who could have seen that coming? So they have it in them to make some moves at the All-Star break. And I've seen like the, be sellers at the deadline sentiment. It's like, what a dumb, what a stupid thing. No. Why would,
no.
Yeah. Like, I know everybody makes fun of Aaron Boone, but if they play well the second half of the season, like they're going to win the division and they have the chance to make a deep playoff run. And that's really all you can ask for from your baseball team.
If Rob Thompson kept saying every time they had a bad stretch of games, it's all there in front of us, you'd find that annoying, right?
I would, but I wouldn't find it like to be the end of the world. I think it's like
of course not.
I think it's a true thing what he's saying. Like
but just say it in a different way at least.
Yeah. He could definitely ask AI for some more phrasing of that, for different ways to word that. But yeah, I agree. How much stock do you put in run differential? I know it's obviously not end all be all, but
I put a lot of stock in run differential.
I do too. And
baseball, run differential in baseball, yeah.
Yes,
point differential in other leagues, no, yeah, a lot.
I think. Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part. But, I mean, don't the Yankees aren't they like top 5 in run differential probably, right?
I haven't checked it recently during the bad stretch, but probably.
Yeah, so I think they're going to be okay. Spoiler alert. That's what I think.
Spoiler alert, you'll always think that.
Yes. And lo and behold, I'm always right, because they're always really good, so...
Well, 2 years ago they had a stretch like this too after a good first 2 months, and they didn't actually recover. They were actually bad the rest of the year, so it doesn't always work out the way you're suggesting.
What happened 2 years ago?
They didn't make the playoffs. You don't remember that?
I don't.
The Yankees are third in run differential, plus 95.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And
was that
the team that's
Judge
in first
was hurt? Like Judge was hurt the entire year.
He not the entire year. Right. He played 100 games.
Right. But so he missed 60 games. So yeah, he missed 2 months. So yeah, I don't put any stock in that 2 years ago. Who's your best player?
Toronto's plus 12. They're first place in the East.
So that's why we'll get to that later. But that was a big thing about the Michael Kay situation. So
yeah. Okay, let's move on. Mets and Subway Series. So this is kind of not moving on, I guess, because. So Mets took 2 out of 3. They split the Subway Series 6 games, 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets actually had a nice bounce back week, even excluding the Yankee series. They really needed it, but the Mets, to say the Mets pitching right now, I mean, talk about injuries. They're throwing out these 2 bullpen games, and they're just throwing out these. I mean, it is just quadruple A, triple A, quadruple A pitcher after another.
Wow.
And they're finding a way to win games. So. I think for the Mets, I see their lineup really coming together right now. And again, we'll dive more into this during the first half recap episodes, but that we're doing at the All-Star break, Phillies, Mets, and Yankees. But I think like Soto's obviously in a really good place right now. Lindor's starting to turn it around after extended slump. Pete Alonso's having a great season. By the way, you saw Soto didn't make the All-Star game?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, that was the one thing I was looking for some Mets tweets for Twitter, but everyone in Mets land's pretty happy right now. That's like the only gripe is that, I can't believe Soto didn't make the All-Star team.
But based on performance, he shouldn't have.
I agree.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of outfielders that are outplaying him so far this season.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. It's just because he's played well as of late. It feels like
just because he has the brand name.
Right.
Which
because he's Juan Soto, because he plays in New York, and because he's had a good couple weeks here.
I'm not so sure that I don't know how much you want to get into this, but I don't really care that much about the All-Star game, who makes, who doesn't, but I'm not a huge believer in the concept of like a guy makes an All-Star game because he had a good 2 months. Like, I don't know if that should be valued over, this guy's been a star for 5 years. Like, I think the guy that's been a star for 5 years probably should be in the All-Star game. It's more, if the game is for fans, specifically younger fans, I think a guy like Juan Soto, for entertainment purposes, should be in. Not just, even though guys had, but based on the current structure, he didn't deserve to be in.
Yes. Agreed.
It feels like the Yankees kind of got lucky in that third game. I don't know if you saw any of it, but
I did not, no.
So Belly made this great play in left field, doubled off Lindor at first. It just seemed like the Mets just like they go into the game. They're using bullpen guys. Their opener is Chris Davinsky. I don't know if you know who that is. He was good like in 2016 with the Astros, 2017, 2018 with the Astros.
Yeah,
he hasn't been good in years. He's been optioned, been in the minors. He's not a major league pitcher, quality pitcher at this point. They have him going, then they follow him up with another quadruple A pitcher, and the Yankees need some bounces, some benefit calls go their way. Beneficiary calls to pull it out. But for the Mets fans, I'm assuming, very excited taking 2 out of 3 from the Yankees and seeing the Yankees really struggle.
Yeah, for sure. All is well. All is well in Mets world right now. Not so much. Can't say the same thing about the Yankees, but we'll get to it.
No. The Phillies just keep on winning. They took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, 2 out of 3 from the Reds. Yesterday, on Sunday, they got this epic Zach Wheeler performance, complete game, 1 run. I was watching that game. It was on... You probably never watched MLB Extra Innings, I'm assuming, in your life.
I've probably put it on once or twice, but no, I'm watching just the game. Like I have on the Phillies game, watching that by itself.
Yeah. So for fantasy purposes, on Sunday I watch MLB Extra Innings a lot. It has all these games.
Yeah. Is it like Red Zone?
Red Zone.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I was watching a lot of the Wheeler performance, and I kept like, oh, he's still in. Oh, Wheeler's still. Oh, it's 9th inning now. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you watch a lot of that game?
I did, yeah. I was out back with, had a couple people over, had my brother over and my friend Zach, and we had it on, and we were watching a pretty good bit of it. And yeah, kind of same thing. We, we're out and about, hanging out in the pool and stuff, so we're checking in every now and again. And yeah, as it got later in the game, we got a little bit more and more dialed in. And yeah, I mean, he was awesome. He was completely electric. And he's the best. He's like the most reliable Philadelphia athlete of my lifetime, and really cool to see. He was one mistake away from a perfect game. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, who else would be in that conversation for most reliable Philadelphia athletes in your lifetime?
Most reliable.
Your fandom.
My fandom. I don't know. I'll have to think about it, and I could do another list.
It's an interesting way to look at it. I can't think of anyone. No one's. I mean, other Phillies come to my mind, like Harper, but
yeah,
I don't think there's.
He's had his swoons though, and he's in one right now, and it's as we've talked about before on this podcast, like he takes a little while to get going once he comes back from an injury. But
Injuries, yeah.
He like Wheeler. never has really had. He's had not great starts, obviously, but it's never snowballed on him. And just like you combine the reliability with like the dominance and the postseason performances, like he's up there, man. He's awesome Philly.
Speaking of
And I'm very
reliability,
happy to have him.
I wanted to ask you about this. Do you think Phillies fans, and then the bigger picture is baseball fans, are underappreciating the consistency of the Phillies organization the last bunch of years?
Phillies fans, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because they want to win? It's all about the World Series now, or what is it?
It's because of the way that the team burst onto the scene. 2022 they hadn't made the playoffs in 11 years, and they went on a magic carpet ride. They went all the way to the World Series, and they've been falling shorter and shorter. They've been getting eliminated earlier and earlier in the playoffs as the years go on, and they've entered 76ers territory of like, okay, cool, like this is fine, but kind of wake us up when you get to the playoffs. They had the taste of a World Series title, in their hands, and it slipped away. And since then, I think we talked about it like with the Knicks. Like it's a lot more fun when you have like that kind of rise to being good, and they didn't really have that. So, they definitely choked away the Diamondback series a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You could argue that they choked away the World Series. They were up 2-1, had a real chance to win Game 4 to go up 3-1. And, I wouldn't say they choked it away because the Astros are the Astros and they're really good and they were the better team. But the Diamondback series they choked away, and then, they got their asses kicked by the Mets last year. And this is kind of how it's been. They've had like good regular seasons for the past few years. Their starting pitching has always been really good. Lineup inconsistent. Bullpen not very good. And this is kind of what it's been. The only difference now is that the Braves aren't very good, whereas in years past they've been chasing the Braves the entire year. So I think that's why. But I think largely I think baseball fans appreciate the Phillies, and I think they like the Phillies, and they give them their due respect. I don't think that they get like overlooked when people are talking about, who's the best team in the National League. They're always in the conversation. So I don't think that nationally it's really a thing, but yeah, certainly locally, the fans have had it up to here with the Phillies, I guess you could say.
I don't think nationally, like, I don't know, like, I'm not talking traditional sports media because I don't watch that stuff or pay attention to that stuff, but I think like national baseball, like podcasts, people like, I'm in a baseball chat with really big baseball fans that watch all of baseball, and I think they view the Phillies as a good team, but they're like they don't seriously view them as a real threat to the Dodgers in the National League. But they are. They are actually, though.
Of course, yeah. I agree.
When you have that pitching staff, you have a really good chance in any playoff series.
Of course, yeah. I totally agree. We've talked about this, but the playoffs is about pitching and scratching some runs across, and sometimes you get weird bounces in October, and you could put a couple games together. That's why playoff baseball is so cool. It's so intense because every single pitch matters. Why haven't you asked me to be in that baseball group chat, by the way?
Because you don't watch baseball like we all do.
Come on, dude.
You wouldn't have any idea about half the names we're talking about. You would never have heard of.
Come on. I could look them up real quick.
Yeah, that's what you do when you hear about a new player. You look at his stats. Mm-hmm. That's your first reaction.
That's my shtick. Yeah, you know me, dude.
Yeah, so let's talk NBA. Do you want to start with Edgecombe? Or you want to start with the Knicks?
No. Start with the Knicks.
Okay, so the Knicks add 3 personnel. They add 2 players in free agency. Jordan Clarkson signs the vet minimum, and Gershon Yabusele signs. Actually, it was initially reported as the taxpayer mid-level, which we talked about was only used like twice, and both times with the Nuggets. Mm-hmm. But apparently he signed just below it, like $200K below it, which allows them to sign another vet minimum player.
What a guy.
apparently turned down a Sixers lowball offer. That's the rumor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't think the Sixers weren't, but the Sixers weren't lowballing in the sense of we don't value him that much. It's
we can't afford you.
We can't do this. So it's being reported that they lowballed him. They're offering what they're allowed to offer him.
Yeah. Yeah, sucks, man. This is really bad for people who don't like the Knicks. This is what this is what I said they should do when their season ended, is to, work around the margins, add a couple of depth pieces, and I didn't think that they could get 2 depth pieces that were this good. Good for them, super annoying for me. But yeah, Clarkson's great. Clarkson's like a really good, he's obviously not a superstar, but absolutely a guy who can come in and give you some really good minutes off the bench, can score, can create, can pass a little bit, a little small, but he's going to be the 8th guy off the bench, so it really doesn't matter that much.
As of now.
Yeah, right. Give it time.
I expect them. I think they're going to be doing more, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't think the Knicks are done this offseason.
And Yabusele's great, man. He was like one of the bright spots of this season from hell for the 76ers. Good for him. He seems like a really cool guy. He was the prized possession after the Olympics last year. The Sixers signed him on a minimum contract. And he was awesome. He's super physical, and he could do a little bit of everything. He tries his ass off, so he is like perfect. He's going to be totally perfect for what they need him to do. In Philadelphia, it had gotten to the point where he was being asked to do too much stuff that's not within his wheelhouse, and
because they're all hurt. Yeah,
of course, yeah. But
he played a lot of 5. He played a lot of 5 with the Sixers, right?
Yeah, which isn't ideal for him, but
it's ideal offensively, awesome. But not right. It's ideal offensively, but it's really bad defensively.
Could be, yeah. Probably not ideal. I mean, it's not a bad scenario, but good for the Knicks, man. That's like a really, really good couple of bench pieces who, that's what they were lacking this year, was depth. And they got it. So good for them.
Yeah. I'm not very happy about that. I'm not like upset.
Here we go. Come on.
Should I not talk about it?
Yeah, you should be happy. You should say, "Hey, my team got a couple of really nice bench pieces," but
I'm going to assess.
Clarkson shot 34.9% from 3 last year, so you don't like him, and let's hear it.
I think a couple things happened here. One, we'll get into the coach situation. I don't have that much to say about that. I have a lot more to say about the play.
I don't either. Coaches are coaches. I mean, these coaches all get recycled in the NBA like crazy.
Let's talk about one thing at a time. I'm sorry I brought it up.
That's okay.
So what the Knicks did is, at least this is how I look at it. What they did is to me, Leon Rose in the front office identified 2 players that they valued, that they got or that they think that were available for the best value. And the reason is they got 2 quality players that were in bad situations last year. So Clarkson was on a team that was trying to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were actually, when they were winning, they would take their players out.
Of course.
They were trying to lose. And this offseason, they're trading away all their good players for nothing just because they want to lose. Because we don't get into the Jazz situation. Anyway, Yabusele was obviously, you obviously are very well aware, he was like the primary offensive player or second option because of all the Sixers injuries. So the Sixers were really bad last year. So which is why they had the 3rd overall pick in the draft. So they found 2 players that are in bad situations that they probably believe in a more serious situation. Now, Yabusele had a great year, but they think they can get even more out of those players. And they were, because they were of their situation, the rest of the league didn't value the players as much as the Knicks did, because the situations brought their value down, their performance down. Not Yabusele as much, but definitely the case with Jordan Clarkson. Now, I'm all for that, but I think the fit is very important here. And one of my main concerns throughout the season, one of the Knicks' biggest flaws was their defense. So they come into the offseason and they sign 2 guys that are bad at defense. I mean, Yabusele grades out as a really bad defensive player. A lot of that is because he was playing the 5, to be fair. But I think the Knicks are going to use him a lot in the 5. We'll see. That's to be determined. And Clarkson's just a very inefficient, just mid-range guy. In his career, he shot the 3 okay. I don't view him as like, oh, this guy can't shoot threes. But he dribbles a lot, and he takes a lot of mid-range. And I don't think that's what the Knicks need. That being said, I understand why they signed him, because they needed another playmaker. A guy that, when in the non-Brunson minutes specifically, can handle, and he can play with Brunson, and Brunson can play a little bit more off the ball. And if someone wants to press Brunson full court, Clarkson can bring up the ball. So I think I get it, but I have concerns about this defensively. You take a team that's bad defensively, and you add 2 players that struggle defensively, and I don't know how Yabusele and Cat could play together. That seems like a disaster on defense. I think Clarkson and Brunson together on defense seems like really a big problem. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work now. I do think that there'll be more moves this offseason to change that. But I'm a little concerned about, and I don't really see the fit defensively, but I get why you go over. They went after the guys that they thought that they were getting the best value, the best bang for their buck. So I think that's what happened, but I don't think the fit is ideal, at least defensively.
What else do you think they're going to do?
Oh, I've been talking about that. I think they're going to trade Mitch or Bridges.
I don't think so.
Let me. I want to get to that in a second, but let's stop at that for a second. So the Knicks hired Mike Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You just said you don't really have much thoughts because a coach is a coach. You think it's about the players in the NBA.
For the most part. I mean, with few very rare exceptions. But yeah, these guys all get fired and hired by different teams every year, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like. Some couple people asked me what I thought, and I was just like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I really can't, like, just because it's a podcast, have some big. Hopefully, Mike Brown communicates better with this team. Hopefully, just because it's a different voice after a bunch of years, maybe that has some sort of positive impact on the roster. He'll probably be more willing to play his bench, his depth, the younger players. That's it. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's not an exciting hire. It's not like, oh, that's it's like Mike Brown. He's
another guy.
He's had success in the NBA. People point to what he did with the Kings, where he like turned Fox and Sabonis into a really good pick and roll tandem. So they're like saying maybe he could do that with Brunson and Cat. I don't know. I think Brunson and Cat are either going to do it or not based on playing together a second year.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, what is he going to teach to players who've been playing basketball for 25 years about running a pick and roll that they don't already know, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he starts maybe he starts Deuce instead of Hart, or maybe he's more willing to experiment with different rotations in the regular season. Like Tibbs was so gung ho on winning every single game, they wouldn't experiment during the regular season, even though it clearly didn't matter that much each game.
Yeah. Yep. You actually just brought up a pretty good point. I kind of a red flag, something I'd be very concerned about. I mean, so this guy has success in Sacramento, and
they fired him in the middle of the season.
Well, no, but I mean, we think that that's going to translate to New York. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? I mean, Sacramento? Nobody cares about the Kings. I mean, you are coming to the Mecca, dude. So buckle up. Buckle up with expectations. Good.
You know, this is an actual conversation. People are talking about this. I'm like, oh, he coached LeBron team, so he's okay. He coached the Lakers, so he's okay. That's the rationale behind it. It's actually a conversation.
That's right. Well, Los Angeles is not New York. I mean, we can all agree there. But all right, fair enough.
All right. I do want to talk about how I was saying that I do think they're going to do something else. What do you think about this? There's been a lot of extensions signed in the NBA this offseason so far. There's been a lot of opt-ins, opt-outs and re-signs, free agent signings, restricted free agent signings, bunch of trades already.
Just say transactions.
Transactions. But specifically, though, a lot of extensions. because that's relevant. Because not only has there not been a Mikal Bridges extension or Mitchell Robinson extension, there
Or Quentin
hasn't been
Grimes.
any. He wasn't eligible for extension. He was a free agent. There hasn't been a report about any sort of conversations, communication, proposals, negotiations between the Knicks and Mikal Bridges. What do you think? Do you take anything from that?
I don't take anything from it. I think that he'll be back. I'm sure but I mean, it is interesting that you haven't heard any kind of chatter. But yeah, I certainly think he will be back. I mean, they gave up a lot to get him. He's a really good player. He likes playing with his friends. Yeah, why
he?
not bring him back? Yes.
Does he like playing with his friends?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wouldn't you?
I would, but I think you would too, but not everyone's like us.
That's true. Good point.
Maybe he feels a little insecure about, because his situation last year, he did all the dirty work. He had to guard the best ball handler on each team. And for most of the game on offense, Tibbs had him staying in the corner at the wing, shooting threes. Maybe he feels like I did all this dirty work. I had Cat as my pick and roll partner on defense doing whatever he was doing, not following the assignment.
Being soft.
And
yeah.
They're making me look bad, and I don't even get the ball on offense. And everybody's talking about how great Brunson is, how great Josh Hart is, and I don't know.
Wow.
I just cooked up some completely fabricated insecurity theory.
Just run with
Mikal
it,
Bridges.
Dude. Yeah, run with it.
It's not impossible what I'm saying. I think it's like you can see why someone might feel like negative about that.
Sure.
I'm just wondering, like, it just seems like, is it are they negotiating and they're just waiting for the other one to give in more? Or do the Knicks not want to extend it? Well, the Knicks exploring all these trade options and they're just they're doing a job keeping it in-house quiet. Or is Mikal Bridges just saying, no, I'm not signing an extension. I'm going to play this out, go into free agency and get more money. I think we talked about this on one of the episodes where Bridges can go to free agency and make more next off season.
Yeah, but even with that, I think that we would have heard something along those lines by now, don't you?
I don't know. I think I'm not suggesting that it means he's not going to sign an extension or that they're going to trade him. I'm just saying that, like, it's a little strange and it makes me wonder what's going on. For a while, it could have been, oh, well, they don't have a coach, so maybe he's not going to sign an extension before they get a coach, or maybe the Knicks are focusing on the coach. Well, now they have a coach and still nothing. So I don't know. But I think and nothing on Mitchell Robinson extension, which I don't think that's that big of a deal. It's to be for much less money. And they can also just extend him in the offseason. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But I do think one of them is going to be traded. That's where I think one of them is going to be traded. I think there's going to be a significant starter. That fifth starter is not on the roster yet.
Okay. Hot take?
Well, actually, if Bridges was traded, it would be kind of like that fourth starter. But anyway, I think there's someone in the starting lineup is not on the roster, if not two guys.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
All right. VJ Edgecombe, Summer League performance has you giddy.
Oh, my God.
Tell me about it.
Oh, my God. Well, first off, I loved this pick from the beginning. Never said a bad word about this kid. Knew he was going to be a star. He was great. I mean, his Summer League debut was awesome. And I take Summer League very unseriously. But there's guys who, I think when it comes to Summer League, you don't put too much stock into it, but you're just looking for some sort of pop. And, he was by far the best player on the floor.
You didn't watch it, did you?
No, but I saw what I needed to say.
Watch the highlights. Yeah.
But he was great. 28 points, 10 rebounds, couple of blocks, couple of steals, team high plus 14, and was just like everywhere. Animal defensively, getting out in transition, running. He's just a very exciting player to watch. And a lot of the stuff again, this is summer league, so it is what it is.
Not
but
even,
a
by
lot
the
of-
way.
What do you mean?
This is like not even a summer league like season schedule. Like this is like it's not preseason. It's
summer
not
league.
summer league. It's the preseason of summer league.
Oh, it is not. It's summer league.
No, it
but
is. No, really though. Seriously.
a lot of the stuff that that
I'm just joking with you.
Quote unquote, like needs to work on. He seemed to do well.
Like the mid-range jump shot, the 3-point shot, things like
the
that.
jump shots, yeah. So the 3-point shot wasn't very good. I think he needs to get a little bit better of like shooting off the dribble. And just like his decision making stuff like was a little bit off, but that's all stuff like that you expect. Again, what I'm looking for is the athleticism, the shoot, like the the goods, and he was great, and it was very exciting, and I'm just excited to see what he can do. I obviously don't think that they're going to be very good next year, but it looks like they might have got themselves a player, which is very exciting. Now,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll say, in all seriousness, I was joking with you, but I don't look at the results, like the performance. I don't care about that in this preseason summer league. But you can see the skill. You can see what a player is capable of doing. There's a certain skill set that you see. A player that doesn't have that skill set can't do certain things, and they won't flash those skills. So I think in a summer league, while the performance overall, the numbers I don't really care about, I don't value them at all. The certain skills, the skill set is still noticeable and is something that you could take away from these games without looking at 28 points. Who cares about the points?
Yes. I think the one thing, so because the Sixers have had so many high-profile draft picks over the past 10 years, Summer League is kind of a big thing for Sixers fans. And there's definitely been a couple of times where you'd be really excited for a player and you watch him play his first Summer League game and you kind of, your stomach drops a little bit. Like I'm thinking Markelle Fultz, like he kind of thought like, oh no, like something doesn't really look right here. Same thing with like Evan Turner, even like going back further than that. But like, yeah, very exciting, very happy for what's potentially in store. So really cool. On the flip side of that, did you happen to see who that Summer League game was against?
No idea. I didn't watch a second of it.
So it was against the Utah Jazz, who famously have drafted Ace Bailey with their number 1 overall pick. And I want everyone on the internet, specifically on Sixers Twitter, to calm down because everyone is dunking on this kid Ace Bailey because he had a bad game, and they're like, like that's why, very very much a pissing contest between the guys who wanted Edgecombe and the guys who wanted Bailey, and it's like we're not gonna know who the better player of these two kids is until like probably 3 years from now. So like one Summer League game, like come on, even I'm not gonna go there and say, see what happened. It's like, relax. He's a friggin' 18-year-old kid. He didn't shoot well. It happens.
Good take.
Thank you.
All right. We are mocking New York fans on Twitter. It's back.
It's back. We're doing it now.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Yankee fans not happy. Not happy.
No.
Been a rough week for them.
Oh boy. Rough couple of weeks.
Rough couple weeks. So going back, let's just say the past, since we last spoke, they got swept out of Toronto. First time they ever got swept in Toronto. Yeah, pretty wild. And people were not happy about that. So I saw a lot of like, just trade for Paul Skeens, like, just give him Jason Dominguez, and they'll totally accept it. Stuff like that, just stupid. But there was some better stuff for me to check out. So the first one, so it happened to be the other day. I don't know if you knew this. It was the boss's birthday. It would have been his 95th birthday, Mr. George Steinbrenner.
July 4th.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So the Yankees, their like official Twitter account posted like, "Hey, happy birthday to George Steinbrenner," and the comments were great.
Oh,
because
boy.
obviously, yeah, really funny. So this guy, he responded directly to the Yankees Twitter account. So the Yankees say, on what would have been his 95th birthday, we're celebrating and remembering the boss. It says, happy birthday, George Steinbrenner. It's a very nice post, right? Honoring an important part of their organization. This guy, Philip Sterling, at SterlingPhil23. His profile picture is an American flag waving in the wind. He says the following. If he was alive, he'd be... Come on, dude. If he was alive, he'd be celebrating his birthday by firing everyone in the front office, including his son and every coach on the staff.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Nobody could just, like, say, yeah, happy birthday, George. That's cool. Everyone's like, oh, if he was alive, he would be destroying everybody. All right. Next one. So there's a famous guy. I don't know if you know this guy, if he's a Yankees writer or something. His name is Jimmy Randazzo, but I see
You've
him
asked
all
me
over.
about this guy before. I don't know who this is.
Okay.
No.
All right. So this guy says, after the Blue Jays series, he said, so there's a period after every word in his tweet. The first word is swept, period. Next word, fire, period. Next word, Aaron, period.
Oh,
and
God.
and lastly, Boone, period. But that's not the tweet. So this guy says swept, fire Aaron Boone. There's a response to that tweet by a man named Dominic Vigiano. His handle is at DJ_VIGGI. I don't really know what his profile picture is. Look, it's just a picture of himself, I guess. So his response to Jimmy Randazzo's tweet is talking about Aaron Boone. He's beyond terrible. He's a literal bitch. Coaches like a bitch. Bitch moves. Bitch decisions. Fire Cashman and Boone won't ever happen. Nepotism has killed the Yankees' evil empire into a joke. This guy gets it. This guy is fucking pissed.
That's almost as good as my rant.
Series. Almost. We got to get this guy on. You guys could have a rant. All right. So this is the last one. I don't know if you saw this. This was from, I think, yesterday's game when they played the Mets, but there was an altercation in the stands between Volpe's father and like a
Yes, I
Mets
did see
fan.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you who didn't see it, it's basic. I guess a Mets fan was making fun of Anthony Volpe, and his dad happened to be in the stands, and they got into it wasn't anything crazy. He was just saying something like, don't talk about my son that way, blah, blah, blah. And the guy, they went back and forth for 10 seconds. So nothing crazy. But so there was a tweet had that video basically just showing the altercation. And this guy, so I'll just read you. There's a interaction between two Yankees fans here. And I'll read you by a guy named Meliodas. His handle is at King Ragnar 444. I don't know, his profile picture is some cartoon. I don't know what it is. So again, this is in response to Volpe's dad getting into a fight with someone. So he says, not gonna lie, his dad needs to shut up and work with his son to become a better ball player. He's a dumbass for responding, his son is ass. So then, hold on. So then somebody responds underneath him saying, what if Volpe was your son? ? And he goes, I'll be hitting the batting cages with my son every day. Like, as if like the coaching staff of the New York Yankees, like, is not trying to help him become a better hitter, but taking some swings in the batting cage. I can, yeah.
I'll sit down. Your son is the best. Your son's the best. Not bad.
So you couldn't really see that much.
Yeah, he was just telling him to shut the hell up. And, like, by the way, like, I am 1000% team Mr. Volpe on this one, dude. Like,
Me too.
1000%. Yeah, F
Of course.
you, dude. Sorry. What'd you say? Yeah, you're a punk. Don't say that about my son. That's it. Like, hell yeah. Stand up for your son, man.
I'm surprised it wasn't a Yankee fan saying shit though.
That's what a lot of people were saying on Twitter. Because
Thank you.
Yankees fans hate Volpe more than anybody. So I thought that was great. That this guy's telling his dad to shut up and work with his son to become a better ball player, dude. It's like, come on. Anyway,
It's hilarious. So ridiculous.
yeah.
Sports fans, crazy.
So that's it.
That was good.
Thank you.
All right. We'll wrap up with some subscriber questions. We have 3.
Okay,
We'll start. You're ready.
I'm ready.
At Crone, I think Crone, maybe Cron, 2222.
A lot
Who's
of
the
twos.
most hated? Who's the most hated current player by the other city's fan base? So,
The most
who's the
player.
most hated Philly athlete by the New York fan base, and who does the Philly fan base hate the most out of New York athletes?
Well, Saquon Barkley's definitely it for New York.
I think that's yes. I think that's
100%.
easy. I don't think there's anyone even close.
And I would say the most hated current
New York athlete
New York athlete,
by the Philadelphia fan base is
probably Juan Soto, I would say.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Philadelphia they don't really hate Jalen Brunson in Philadelphia. They like claim him because, he's from the area and he went to
he's a
Villanova.
Nova guy.
So,
Yeah.
And he's likable guy,
They don't hate Judge.
Yeah,
There's like that. Not that. It's like the NL East, AL East. Yeah.
Yep. They don't even think about I'm the exception. Phillies fans don't care about the Yankees like at all.
And the Giants aren't worthy of having any player to hate.
Jets aren't worthy.
Jets are irrelevant to the Eagles fan. So yeah.
Yeah, I would
and
say
hockey's
it's
not
Soto.
couldn't get to that point. Anyone there's no hockey player that can get to that point.
Well,
of, the most hated.
Nobody in Philadelphia cares about hockey right now, so no.
Yeah. Okay. So it has to be Soto.
Soto, maybe Alonso, but it's definitely a Met, I would say. Good question.
Okay. And it has to be Saquon the other way around. There's no one. I don't think anyone. Maybe a Phillies player.
Might be Embiid. People really hate Embiid. People from the Knicks
actually,
really
that's
hate
a good
Embiid.
one. Knicks fans hate Embiid.
Hate Embiid, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good one.
Which, why? I'm sorry. I never understood.
They think he's a dirty player, and
but they're not any good. I don't get the hatred towards a team that sucks. It's they don't
Yeah.
This actually really bothers me because, I always see Celtics fans talking shit about the Sixers. It's go enjoy your success, dude. Leave the worst organization in sports alone. Why do you hate the 76ers? They're so bad.
Why do you exaggerate to make your point?
Because it's true. Because it's
not
true.
the worst franchise in sports. Stop. Not even close.
They're up there, dude. Come on. They're
not
a
even
joke.
close.
They've been a joke for a long time, man. Come on.
They've been in the playoffs every year for 6 years before last year.
Yeah, so were the Wizards were in the playoffs for 6 straight
years.
There's
been teams that are in the lottery every year for 6 straight years. So those teams are worse organizations. Let alone other sports like the Jets, who haven't made the playoffs since I've been in college. Or high school. I don't even remember. I was in high school. Yeah. So okay.
Anyway, I think it's lame. All right, I get it. They think he's dirty. Whatever. Okay, we can move on. But it's one of those.
He'd be close. Embiid would be close. Okay. So at Monomo? Monomo. I don't know. What do you think? Pronounce it.
Okay. Spell it one more time.
Monomo.
Yeah, Monomo.
Monomo. I like that. Monomo 191. What are your thoughts on the Michael Kay versus Jamie Campbell thing? So Jamie Campbell is the Blue Jays broadcaster. Now, I saw Michael Kay do some sort of like clip on I saw a YouTube short about him like apparently clapping back at this guy. I don't know. I didn't know anything about this. We got the subscriber question, so I briefly looked into it. I still don't really care about this at all. What are your thoughts? First, do a better job of explaining to me what happened so I understand.
Yeah, this is right up my alley, dude. I love a good broadcaster beef. Anyway, so Michael Kay said like a week or so ago, I guess it was either before or during the Blue Jays series, somewhere around there. He basically was saying on his radio show that the Blue Jays weren't that good. He said something, and this is obviously was taken out of context, but he said something to the effect of like the Blue Jays are not a first place team, right? Which because when he said that, they were not in first place. But B, we'll touch on
the run
in a
differential.
minute when he gets to his response. But like that's it. That's all he said. The guy hosts a radio show. He was probably
that's
asked
important.
a question. It's like
that's an important,
it's very important. Yes,
distinction that he did it on his radio show, not on the Yankees broadcast.
Right.
That's a distinction.
Yeah. So some guy named Giovanni from the Bronx probably called and asked him a question, and like that was his response. So it's not, yeah, it's not.
Sorry, Manoma, if we're not pronouncing it incorrectly, we apologize.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, he said that on his radio show, and the Blue Jays proceeded to sweep the Yankees. And this guy who works for the Blue Jays broadcast team, after the fourth game was over, during the postgame, he took out a little broom and started sweeping it, and basically just poked a little bit of fun at Michael Kay, saying, the Blue Jays are on a first place team now. And with that sweep, they were in first place. They were up by one game, right? So it's this whole big thing. Oh, the Blue Jays broadcaster said something, and Michael Kay basically responded to the guy. He had like a little soliloquy and basically said, hey, like, good for you guys. Like, all I was saying was that the Blue Jays run differential isn't very impressive. So like they're kind of they're punching above their weight right now. They haven't really played like a first place team up until this point. But like good for them, like they're winning games. Like wins are more important than run differential, obviously. And the way he kind of left it was like, and like, by the way, like you guys are all like celebrating as if the season's over. Like there's still a lot of baseball left to be played. And I love the analogy he said. He's like, yeah, you're like, you don't hang on the rim in the third quarter when there's still a lot of basketball to be played. Like, do your slam dunk, but like, yeah, don't hang on the rim in the third quarter is what he said. And I totally agree. So I am very much team Michael Kay on this. I actually love Michael Kay. I think he does a really good job. You've always been a Michael Kay fan, show. Yeah.
You hate the Yankees, but always like Michael Kay.
Yes. Well, I think
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah. I think his radio show's great. I think he's like entertaining. And I think that like when you speak for 4 hours a day, like you're probably not going to say everything totally perfect every single episode, but like I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's a little bit of fun back and forth, but like overall it's fine. He said that their run differential isn't great. That's like all he said, and then they happened to win the series. And by the way, that's true. Their run differential right now is I don't know. Look it up. Where would you say?
12.
Plus 12. Yeah, but where does that rank in the MLB?
17th.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Am I right?
I don't know. I thought you knew.
I thought you had it in front of you.
No, I didn't.
Oh, I was wrong. They're plus 25, and it's 13th.
Yeah, still not great.
Okay.
You know what I like about Kay is that they talk, and like he's the voice of the Yankees, but like his radio show actually talks about like all sports, which I always
Yeah.
appreciated. Like you listen to a Philadelphia radio station, and it's like the middle of
They just
literally
talk
like
Eagles.
Game 6 NBA Finals, and they're like, oh, I wonder who's gonna win like the third string quarterback job in training camp. It's like
They're
it's
obsessed
crazy.
with the Eagles.
It's totally obsessed.
It's Eagles talk radio.
Yeah, essentially, which is great. Like from September to January, February, like sure, okay, but it's now May and June, and there's other sports going on, and your baseball team's in first place, and the NBA
Yeah.
Finals are on, and the Stanley Cup Finals are on, and like, I don't know. Do people care about who's going to be the third string quarterback of the Eagles in September? Maybe.
Does anyone care
I
at
don't.
any point in the season? Really?
No,
You don't
I
really care.
I mean,
Why would?
Of course not. Why would you?
ever
If you're
care?
down to your third string quarterback, your season's over. So, wrap it up.
Yeah. All right. Last subscriber question. At Phil_H93. Sistad, this is for you. If you can lock in another Eagles Super Bowl in 2026, but doing so would also lock in a Yankees or Mets World Series title this season, plus a Knicks championship in 2026, would you do it? I love this question. This was an awesome question. This might be the best subscriber question we've ever had. Great work, Phil.
Phil, that is dirty.
You would do that, right? You would take it.
I would, but it would. Wow. I mean, both. I can't just pick one. Yankees
No,
or
both. No, it has to be Yankees or Mets, and then plus the Knicks, because the Yankees and Mets both can't win, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, I guess.
You guess? You are
yes.
really that much of a hater?
No, I
Come
would.
on.
I would. No, I would. But it would be awful. It would be
What
great.
about
but
other
awful.
teams? What about other teams? What about Phillies? Lock in a Phillies World Series title, but doing so would lock in a Giants Super Bowl championship and a Yankees World Series. Now,
Yeah.
wait,
I think
not the Yankees World Series and a Knicks championship, because I said Phillies. So yeah, Giants and Knicks. You'd still take that?
Yeah. I mean, yes. You would take it. Yes.
Because the Phillies are your third favorite team, right?
Yes.
All right. So what about the Flyers? Yankees and Giants.
Yes. No. I would, because I've never seen that before. I think that would be great.
Okay.
And that would be very cool for the city. They haven't won since the 70s, so yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay. All right. I like that question. That was good.
Yeah, me too. That was good.
All right. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. Please give us a like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.
Philly pride and Sistad soul, Andrew rapping and wild bulls. Together they talk sports and dreams, right behind the scenes. It seems Phillies and wide, hear the call, who's the greatest, who will fall with this rivalry. Loud and clear, join the chat. It's time to cheer. Sports and culture all in one. Catch the fire, feel the fun. Andrew, Sistad, glad unite. Philly and